Execute Order 66.
Echoes around the galaxy as Jedi begin to drop like flies. Cody orders for Obi Wan to be shot down. They barely miss, but it doesn't stop the Jedi from falling hundreds of meters to the water below. The 212th Attack Battalion, led by Commander Cody, had fought side by side with General Kenobi for years, and knew he would have survived that fall. Cody orders all available clones to search for and hunt him down. They would not stop until he's dead. A special thanks to the voice actors, Nick Cortez, Shapeshifter, their links will be in the description.
What are your orders, Commander? Shoot to kill. Kenobi must die here. Yes, sir. On it, sir. Move out, troopers. Don't let him get away.
Why? Why did my troops shoot at me? I need to get out of here now.
I hear something. Over here.
Troopers, what are you doing? Why did you attack me?
Die, Jedi. Blast him. He's getting away.
What is going on? I need to head towards my ship.
I heard fire. Over here. Move, move, move.
Damn, they're on to me.
I see him. There. Fire. Don't let him get away. Come back, Kenobi.
Obi-Wan is almost away. One more corner before he reaches his ship. But as he turns, he runs right into Commander Cody himself.
It's time to face justice, General.
Commander, what is going on?
We have special orders under the directory of Order 66 to eliminate the Jedi. You must die.
Obi-Wan dodges out of the way and kicks the commander in the chest. Backup comes from behind and Obi-Wan ignites his lightsaber to block.
Troopers, stop! Let's talk about this.
But they keep firing and more continue to come. Kenobi becomes surrounded by clones on all sides.
Troopers, please, don't do this.
Increase output.
Think about what you're doing. We've been friends for years. Stop! You'll kill me! Cody, please!
Kenobi's voice goes silent as he's shot dead and collapses onto the concrete surface of Utapau.
Lord Sidious, we've successfully eliminated General Kenobi.
Palpatine is ecstatic at this news. This will help keep Anakin on his side.
Very well, Commander. Clear out of Utapau and regroup at Coruscant to await new orders.
Yes, my lord.
Because Obi-Wan dies, he never visits Padme at her home. Obi-Wan was the one who told Padme Anakin had turned to the dark side, which caused her to go to Mustafar. Because of this, she would stay on Coruscant. However, Anakin was on Mustafar. He murdered the Separatist leaders and ordered the Trade Federation to shut down all droid production. He goes back to Coruscant to receive more orders from Sidious. On his way, he stops over at his house to visit his wife. Padme rushes up to him as he leaves his ship and tells Anakin about Palpatine becoming Emperor of the Galaxy and that they have to do something. Anakin stares into Padme's eyes, which tells her all he needs to know. She accuses Anakin of already knowing, who admits he is supporting the Emperor. He tells his wife Palpatine is strong in the dark side and has joined him as his new apprentice. She stares at Anakin in disbelief, screams at him, asking him how he could do this to the galaxy he's been trying to protect, to his Jedi family, Obi-Wan. She covers her mouth with her hand and shakes her head. She proclaims that she needs time to think all of this over. Anakin believes Padme will come around eventually and gives her space. He heads off to Palpatine. Bail goes to visit Padme, accompanied by Yoda, just after the Grand Master failed to kill Sidious. She decides she can't stay on Coruscant with Anakin after what he's done. She goes with them to Bail's facility on Polis Massa, where Padme hears the real story of what Anakin has done. Padme is forced to tell Yoda and Bail about her relationship with Anakin. She pleads with Yoda, telling him that there's still hope and good in Anakin, but he explains the horrific acts he has committed. He aided in the genocide of the Jedi Order, including killing Padawans and younglings. Order 66 has taken thousands of Jedi's lives, including Obi-Wan Kenobi. Padme doesn't believe them initially, but Yoda tells them he saw it with his own eyes. Yoda contemplates what to do in his mind. He knows both Sidious and Anakin are on Coruscant, so it would be foolish to attack them again. Into hiding he must go. He comes up with a plan to seek out allies and build a resistance movement with the goal of overthrowing the Emperor and restoring balance to the Force. It will take time for Sidious to solidify his empire, and they must attack before he can do this. Yoda is very wise, cunning, and is a master of the Force. He will use these attributes to gain allies and resources, building a rebellion that could challenge the Empire. The Jedi still have powerful allies around the galaxy. With Anakin now becoming Darth Vader, it isn't safe for Padme to stay in the Senate, so joins the rebellion movement led by Yoda and Bail. She stays on Alderaan for the time being, and gives birth 1 week after Order 66 to twins Luke and Leia. Vader has been searching relentlessly for his wife. He did not think she would get up and leave him like that. He knows how far through her pregnancy she is, and could give birth any day. He needs to be there, to use his new powers to save her from his nightmares. He fears the worst might have already happened. Yoda summoned Mon Mothma and Bail Organa, who brought with them Captain Rex and Ahsoka Tano. Yoda smiled when he saw that Padawan Tano had survived the Purge. Mothma and Bail had begun making connections with Jedi sympathizers who were willing to support their rebel movement. Organa had heard of a few Jedi that had survived the Purge but gone into hiding. Yoda proclaims that together they will search for the surviving Jedi. They are an integral part in stopping Sidious. He uses his power in the Force to send out a beacon in the light to try and connect with any surviving Jedi. He doesn't know how many will receive it, but it's a start. They decide to meet back here in a month's time, hopefully with more Jedi and soldiers behind them. A month passed, and they were all very successful. Yoda's beacon in the light side of the Force had worked. He had managed to connect with a few Jedi, including Quinlan Vos, Caleb Doom, Cal Kestis, and Taron Malicos. They discuss alongside Padme, Mon Mothma, and Organa. Yoda reveals to them all the truth of Order 66, including the identity of Darth Sidious and Skywalker's betrayal. Shock encompasses the room. Ahsoka puts her head down in shame, having already heard the news from Yoda previously. As the meeting continues, they discuss Sidious's expansion and movements around the galaxy. They try to gauge his goals and strategy to use it to their advantage. They already have a lot of financial backing, and Rex has made contact with the Bad Batch, and together, they have made an effort to remove as many clone inhibitor chips as they can. They already have hundreds on their side. The rebellion is brewing. Towards the end of the meeting, Padme poses an idea to turn Anakin back to the light side of the Force. The Jedi snicker at the name and dismiss it quickly. They don't feel too fond of their fallen Jedi. But Yoda commands them to silence and wants to hear her out. She explains her plan. She tells them of Anakin's nightmares and how they caused him to turn to the dark side. They could lure him out to Alderaan with one of the Jedi, but instead show him his children, and once he sees them alive, she believes he will come back to the light. After he knows she and his family are safe, he has no reason to fight for the darkness. Surprisingly, everyone in the room thinks it's a good idea, and they begin setting it in motion. They decided to use Quinlan Vos as bait, because only a Jedi of his nature and caliber could lure Vader out. They decide to set the trap on Alderaan. They anonymously send in a video of Quinlan Vos visiting a food shop and then walking into an apartment building to the Empire's Jedi Hunting Committee. Hours later, Vader's ship is making its way through Alderaan's atmosphere. He lands and enters the suspected residence of Quinlan Vos. He walks up the stairs, using the Force to guide his actions. He feels something is off. He stands in front of the door, in which behind, he senses two presences strong in the Force. He opens the door to see his wife, Padme, and their two children in her arms. Vader's eyes grow wide. It's been eating at him for weeks, and now finally, he knows his wife is safe. He goes over and stands in front of them. Padme grabs his cheek and strokes it. She tells her husband that all his worries were for nil, to just look at their two beautiful children. She was not in danger. She did not die in childbirth. Anakin's reason for turning to the dark side to save Padme was not needed. Before Anakin could speak, Padme tells him to come back to them, that he doesn't need to stay with the dark side. Anakin lowers his head and turns around to see Ahsoka, Yoda, and the other Jedi walk in behind him. He locks eyes with his former apprentice, and Anakin knows what he has to do. They all sense the light side beginning to flicker within Anakin. He has returned. He falls to his knees and begins crying in Padme's arms. The Jedi who resented him know a broken man when they see one. Anakin joins the rebellion. The light side is with him, but the darkness has not fully left. After what he's done, it never will. He spends the next few days with his family before telling the Jedi all they need to know about Sidious and his empire. They use the information to begin forming a plan to take him out before he cements his empire's rule. Anakin uses both light and dark side of the Force, which takes him to a level above where he was before. The Jedi teachings limited Anakin, it's true, but with the addition of the dark side, he can unlock his true potential. Sidious begins to get suspicious when Anakin never returns, and fears his apprentice must have fallen to Master Voss. However, he doesn't completely give up, but for safety reasons, he begins searching for a new replacement. The rebellion spends weeks getting their plan ready. They need to coordinate Jedi plus clones turned to their side in order to be successful. With the financial backing of Jedi sympathizers, they've been able to assemble a respectable fleet. It was a dark time in the galaxy. The rule of Galactic Empire was absolute, and Darth Sidious, the Emperor himself, was the mastermind behind it all. But there was hope. The Jedi Resistance had a plan. Anakin Skywalker, redeemed, was joined by Yoda the Wise, powerful Jedi Masters including Quinlan Voss, and skilled Jedi Knights. Together with Caleb Dume, Cal Kestis, Taron Malicos, and Ahsoka Tano, they devise a plan to ambush Sidious and his underlings. The Bad Batch had successfully stolen the Emperor's schedule for the next 2 weeks, and the rebellion planned to ambush him when he was most vulnerable. As they approached Sidious's massive Star Destroyer, the group was filled with a sense of purpose and determination. They had trained and prepared for this moment for months now, and they were ready to take down the most powerful Sith Lord in the galaxy. The rest of their fleet comes out of hyperspace. Their job, to protect the Jedi cruiser and get it to Sidious's main ship. The Bad Batch flew in front of them, pulling most of the fire from the TIE fighters, heading towards them. Clone pilots circled all around, saddened by the fact they had to shoot down their brothers, but knew it was necessary. They successfully support the Jedi cruiser, all the way to Sidious's ship, which crash-landed in the hull. They were met with a hail of blaster fire from the Imperial clone troopers, but they fought their way through, using the Force to deflect blaster bolts and cut down their enemies. Sidious was worried. He didn't expect the Jedi Resistance to be this coordinated so soon, and an attack on this scale was not foreseen. But he could sense a presence he thought was lost, and realizes what is happening. The Jedi fight through the corridors, and disarm all escape pods. They reached into the Emperor's throne room, where they were met with a group of Inquisitors, the Emperor's personal enforcers. The two sides clashed in a fierce battle, with lightsabers flashing and the Force being unleashed in a chaotic dance of death. Anakin stood behind the Jedi, staring intently at the Emperor, who was ready to join the battle. Anakin, fueled by both his love for Padme and anger and frustration, fought with a ferocity that even the Inquisitors could not match. As the battle raged on, and the Emperor's forces were diminishing, Anakin saw victory in sight as the Jedi had the upper hand and rushed at Sidious. With a powerful roar, Anakin launched himself at the Emperor, swiftly dodging his defensive strikes and implementing his own lethal counterattacks. Anakin encompassed all aspects of the Force to give him power as their intense duel continues. Sparks fly everywhere as their lightsabers graze the metal around them. They utilize their surroundings completely, but Anakin's youth begins to give him the upper hand. He remains determined as ever, advancing on Sidious as he spins 360 degrees to slice the Emperor in half. Anakin stands over Sidious triumphant, as he turns around to see the Inquisitors laying on the ground, defeated by the Jedi. As they emerge from the ship, the group was hailed as heroes by the Imperial Senate. They had succeeded in their mission to bring an end to the reign of the Emperor and bring about a new era of peace to the galaxy. The Jedi for now take over the Imperial Senate, and the Imperial officers who committed inhumane war atrocities were sentenced to life in prison. Yoda had forgiven Anakin, reflected on the Chosen One prophecy to bring balance to the Force, and thought that maybe he had done that. There is no doubt that the light side of the Force was becoming too strong, with almost 10,000 Jedi around the galaxy before the war. This is not balance. But when Yoda looks upon Skywalker, he senses balance between the light and dark within him. These thoughts cause significant conflict within Yoda. He's lived by the Jedi ways for hundreds of years. The thought that he might have been wrong this entire time haunts him, but he doesn't let his ego get in the way. He truly believes Anakin was conceived by the Force, not only to bring balance to the Force, but to show the Jedi that their ways in the Force were not the true will of the Force. There is no light without the dark, and to ignore that principle is foolish. Yoda asks Anakin to help him change the ways of the Order, to focus on balance between the light and dark, instead focusing solely on the light. Anakin agrees, and together, alongside with their friends and family, they rebuild the broken galaxy. If you enjoyed this video, you have to watch what if Count Dooku went to Naboo with Qui-Gon, and what if Anakin didn't take a seat. Please check out our membership program for only $1 a month to vote on videos you'd like to see next and to support the channel. Please continue to leave your ideas in the comments, and I'll see you all next time.